today we are going to be moving on to our resolution and endings. Doesn't matter if you don't quite get it finished today, that's absolutely fine because you'll have a little bit of time in tomorrow's lesson to edit and improve, check over some things before you are going to be reading it aloud. So, just as a starter, can you create a backstory for the character that lives here? Why is there a tiger out the front? Whose are the skulls? Are they human skulls? Are they animal skulls? And what lurks behind this scenery in the mist, in the unknown? Just a sentence or two, just to get those creative thoughts flowing. And then reflect on yesterday's learning. What can you improve? Again, capital letters, any missing punctuation, any vocab that you can upscale, sentence openers. Who you use the same sentence opener every time? Is it always a fronted adverbial? Is it always I, we, she, he? Can you rearrange your clause type or your sentence structure? Once you've done that, join me for our next story. Today's story is called The Dings and the Dongs, and whilst it's a short story, it's actually a form of narrative poetry. So, the planet of Bel was a very strange place, where once there was love, now lays disgrace. Among the flowers and the grass so green, behold a sight that should never be seen. The Dings and the Dongs had a terrible fight that lasted all day and lasted all night. The quarrel went on for days and days until they decided to go their own ways. The Dings went east and the Dongs went west to find the best place that suited them best. The Dings, who were yellow with spots of red, found a desert with sand and space for their bed. The Dongs, who were blue with stripes of white, found a lake which was fresh and it looked just right. Years went by with not a word spoken. Then came the day when the feud was broken. Dahlia Ding was going to bed with the words of her mum going round in her head. Stay clear of the Dongs, that's what you should do. They have stripes of white and bodies of blue. Meanwhile, over on the lake, a Dong dad made the same mistake. Diego Dong was brushing his hair with the words of his dad, which seemed unfair. Do not go near the Dings, my fellow, they've got spots of red and bodies of yellow. When morning came, Dahlia Ding went out for a walk and found a very strange thing. Between the trees she saw a sight, a peculiar creature with stripes of white. She crept towards it at a very slow pace and saw what she thought was a very kind face. Hello, said the creature, bowing his head. He looked up and saw her spots of red. Dahlia smiled and said, How do you do? I like your stripes and coat of blue. They played together all day long, just Dahlia Ding and Diego Dong. They laughed and played and had so much fun until the day was almost done. Then after a while, Dahlia Ding decided to teach Diego to sing. Dahlia went first and Diego second. Let's try it together, Diego reckoned. Dahlia went ding and Diego went dong, and together they created a wonderful song. Back at the sand, around the same hour, Dahlia's mum had started to scour. She looked high and low, but could Dahlia be found? Then Dahlia's mum found prints on the ground. Meanwhile, back at the lake, Diego's dad was starting to shake. Where was his son? He hadn't a clue. He spotted a trail and then he knew. Both parents searched as fast as they could until they came to the place where the children stood. They stopped and stared, amazed by the song from Dahlia Ding and Diego Dong. And in that moment they thought of their fight. They had been wrong, and now this felt right. Now the planet of Bel is a happy place to be, with everyone dinging and donging with glee. What do you like about this story? Was there a clear structure? At the bottom there it says what type of poetry is this called, and did you enjoy this way of telling the story? Did you enjoy the rhyming couplets? Did it have many characters? Is there anything you would change? And most importantly, what was the moral of the story? Did the author try to convey a certain message? If so, what was it? So, just as a recap, remember that you're going to be concluding your story today. You're going to be doing a resolution and ending. Resolution is really important that we get some form of dialogue in there using that newly acquired knowledge of direct speech accurately. Remember, new speaker, new line. That's something as a class we tend to forget. Is your story going to finish on a cliffhanger, or is it going to be a happy ending? Will we ever know what happened? Have fun. Remember, it doesn't all have to be completed today. It's absolutely fine if you need a little bit more time in tomorrow's lesson to go over it. Well done, and good luck finishing your story.